back. I've got some results to show you, and I'm really happy with them. I think they're honestly pretty dang good for the environment I'm spraying in, which is essentially a garage. So if you got a garage at home and you're trying to spray some stuff, yeah, these are the results you can get. And I gotta say, I think they're pretty good for a old style cross draft converted garage to a paint booth, essentially, is what it is. So, and the point of the video was to show someone, hey, you know, I've got a garage at home. I can paint something in my garage, and I can get great results. And you can paint something right in the middle of your shop if you wanted to. Blow it out really well, blow the panels off really well, and go to town. It's all about dust mitigation. It is not about necessarily the amount of money you want to spend on the equipment you're using. So keep that in mind when you see the results. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. Whoo-wee. Damn. Isn't that nice? I think it is. I think it is super slick and super nice. And I think the guy that owns the car will too. So this is a factory color that came available on these in 1969. It's Italian, so I can't pronounce it. It's got some I's and some O's and some double L's. So we'll let you figure out the rest. All right, guys. Hello, welcome back. I think I'm supposed to have like a super cool intro with me like spinning tires and like all these crazy car things happening and like really cool music playing, but I don't have any of that. That's what's cool. 69 Alfa Romeo, lovingly referred to as Giuseppe. I don't know if that's its name, but that's the name I named it. So on this video, I've got some color on the insides of the doors. I got some color on the underside of the trunk and the hood. And I've also got some block sanding and priming and some spot glazing done. I'm all suited up, ready for the last round of primer. Now, I'm going to run the primer a little thinner. This has been sanded to 180 and then a really fire sand to 220. So it's ready. This will be the last time I use any primer or sealer. On the next round, I don't put any sealer down. This will keep me, doing it this way keeps me from getting any burn throughs on my final sand. If you got to burn through, you got to do a little touch up with a little primer, but this way gets it straight and it gets the surface nice and flat, and it helps you find some indiscrepancies. So I'm going to flip you around and show you what I've done real quick, and then I will turn you back on when I get the product on, okay? Here it is. Here is, just look at how, God, it's a good looking car. I don't care what anyone says. I really like this car. She has been block sanded to 180, and there were a few little low spots here. Now, people see that and they go, oh my God, look at all that Bondo. That is less than a 64th of an inch thick, probably 32nd, maybe 1 millimeter. They're just very, very light low spots that were really difficult for me to feel on the previous bodywork phase. So I block and reprime, and this is the second time. I only do it twice. As you'll notice, there's a couple different colors of primer. This is a U-Pole 2253. The dark gray is the direct-to-metal epoxy urethane hybrid. I use that on bare steel. It has some decent film build. And then I use this on top of it as a wet-on-wet. And the reason I do that, it gives me a little film build. And this top U-Pole is a little bit more inexpensive, and most of it gets sanded off. And I want to retain as much as I can of this layer, because that's 90% of my corrosion protection to that bare steel. So, and the stuff that I'm sanding down on the floor, why would I spend a whole bunch of money on if it just goes in the garbage, right? Huh? I'm thinking. So this was pretty ripply here, and It probably would have been okay. It just was easier to skin coat it one more time. Hello, here we are. We're back. Been a couple hours. And I wanted to show you the outcome of the final prime. How straight it is. How nice the lines are. Look at that. I'm breaking my shoulder, patting myself on the back. It doesn't look bad. I will have to agree with that statement. So, I also managed to get the trunk flange jammed out, and I got the hood flange jammed out, and she looks great. So here we go. There, look at that. Would you look at this? Look how nice this little Giuseppe looks. There's the roof. You can see that she is straight. And it wasn't really that hard. It wasn't all that much work. It was work, but this is why I do it this way. My first step of body work, I go to 100 grit to 80. I do my priming, I do my blocking, and if I find some small little ripples here and there, I fix those on this step. It's easier for me to see them and feel them in primer surfacer after the body work than it is to try to do it all at once. I always miss something. This step allows me to not miss anything. There's nothing worse than being ready for paint and missing some body work. You don't want to do that. So, and this also gives you an opportunity. I kind of call this the shaping and the final shape step. Look at how pretty those body lines look. Look at how pretty that shape is. You see how they designed it to come in like this, and this one comes in like that, and it follows across. What a beautiful detail. You see how it's shadowed right through here. You know, it's like a piece of sculpture. And I nerd out on that stuff because it's nice and straight. And on the second go around, that gives you the opportunity to really sharpen up these body lines, really make them look nice with some hard blocking. And then you can start seeing all of your hard work come together before your eyes. But if you DA all this stuff and you try to do all this with a machine sander, you miss these cool little details. They're still there, they're just not as pronounced. And if you love automobiles as much as I do and the art around them, well, why wouldn't you want to do that? So I also went through and got some color on this at the same time. This is, like I said, a primer sealer. It was reduced as a sealer-ish, surfacer sealer. And so it's still open. I can treat it as a sealer. So while I'm doing this, to save a step, I went ahead and just sprayed some color and some clear on that. And that's ready to go. So anyway, there she is. I think she looks great. Everything's sharpened up really nice. And then I even made that one disappear like the way it's supposed to. So thanks a lot for watching. You must like Alfa Romeos, and you must like driver quality restoration work. I will keep you updated. This car is going to go away for a wiring harness for a while, probably a couple weeks. In the meantime, though, I will have a 72 El Camino SS that I'm doing some fabrication on, and also some engine bay paint. And then I've also got a 68, I believe, or 67. I think it's a 68 RSSS Camaro coming in black that we're going to polish, and I'm going to show you how to do a paintless touch-up on the paint. So nothing loaded in the gun. We're going to be brush touching, wet sanding, brush touching, and wet sanding. And I'm going to take you through that whole process on how to do that touch-up. So, and the results are going to amaze you. Something you can do at home pretty easily. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And yeah, have a great weekend. Peace.